Hello, everyone. Welcome to LOCKBEARD Phenomena number 142, Weird, Washington. It is Thursday, April 11th, 2024. I see Icon was first in the chat. Weird Washington, ? Bro, that's an understatement. Why do you say that? Is it because Brent? It's because Brent lives there, isn't it? They got Brent up there. Icon says Halito, Achaeos, and howdy to chat. Halito. Ocean Pond says, hey, Lockbeard and Icon. Welcome, Ocean Pond. Welcome, Angel. Everybody's slow getting in here, but they're coming. Icon says, woo, I made it back. Awesome, man. Hold on a second. Has anybody heard anything from Uncle Bones? Hopefully he's doing all right. I went ahead and revamped my playlist, the Kindred to the Embrace, by, well, two things. One, I uploaded my own copies to the other channel, the Dark Zone. And two, because I did my own uploads, I could do my own thumbnails for the videos and make it look more clean, and the thumbnails, actually, tell you what's in there, not just the title, what episode and title of the episode, stuff like that. Most people, when they upload this stuff, they're not nearly as meticulous about putting that kind of information in the title or even making thumbnails at all. And so I wanted to make it where it looked cleaner. But so if anyone's not familiar with Kindred the Embraced, it was a vampire TV show that I kind of liked. I like some of the concepts to it. Icon says, nope. Was wondering about him myself, Uncle Bones. Yeah, Sasquatch Secrets here says, I'm pretty sure I saw him in chat on Wednesday. Good deal. Some people were kind of wondering, where he was, if he was okay. So yeah. I guess I could put the link to the playlist in case people watching want to open it in another tab and check it out later. Hold on a second. Whoops. I meant to put that in one, but so that makes two vampire shows that didn't last too horribly long. For whatever reason, a lot of shows, they just get canceled way quicker than maybe they should. And part of it is, they had some work to do with it, really. The script needed a little doctoring. And, I mean, it's unfortunate. A lot of shows, they just kind of get thrown up there and there's just not enough effort being put into the writing, really. And of course, the guy playing the cop that's after Julian, I could kind of do without that character altogether. His acting is kind of atrocious, really. But and really, you know, it feels like, you know, I mean, Julian is the main character, the prince of the city, the vampire leader. He's the main character, not the cop. And you know, they could make it work somehow, but they just didn't do it. They just didn't do it. But it's still a pretty neat, you know, short series, just 8 episodes. Before they canceled it. Then, of course, I got the other one. Hold on a second. See if I can bring up. Yeah, this one. Blood Ties. Blood Ties is all uploaded and people can watch that too. I'm thinking of maybe trying to do Forever Night, another vampire-oriented TV show. But it'd be a bigger thing to do and try to get all the episodes. I hate to post it without being able to get all the episodes up. But you know, sometimes you just can't. Let me see here. So I was poking around looking for, you know, newer sightings and stuff, and this doesn't really. This is a new article, but but it's and then I got another one that has a sighting in Washington. Hold on a second. Share this tab instead. There we go. This is on or in Tri-City Herald. Washington Phenomena featured on Netflix show of the unexplained and 6 other weird Washington incidences. This one here, like, I haven't looked much into this, but I'm wondering if we could be looking at something that's could be considered quasi alive, kind of like the Trovance stones that grow and reproduce, and some people believe that they really are a life form. But anyway, this is the Mima Mounds, which they haven't been able to figure out how they formed, really. The latest season of Files of the Unexplained has been released on Netflix. The series looks at unexplained phenomena across the country, diving into what's known about the instance. One episode featured a particular unexplained instance in Oakville, Washington, referred to as the Oakville Blobs. In 1994, the small town of Oakville experienced precipitation like never before. What looked like it could be a tough rain or maybe hail. Residents discovered a gelatinous, translucent substance was falling from the sky. It has been reported that some people and animals got sick after touching the blobs. There was state investigation into the substance, but nothing conclusive came of the testing. 30 years later, there is still no definitive answer as to what the blobs were. There are many theories, some with more credence than others, but with all testing samples gone, it's likely we'll never know what fell on Oakville in 1994. You mean nobody saved a jar of this crap? Seriously? The mystery has been shared by numerous news outlets, TV shows like The Files of the Unexplained, on social media accounts like the popular YouTube channel Watchers Mystery Files. Yet, still no answers. This is a picture of the beach where multiple severed feet have washed ashore. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Feet found on the Salish Sea beaches. There was another occurrence of Washington's unexplained in the show about how a large number of disembodied feet still in the sneakers washed up on beaches around the Salish Sea. Around 24 have been found in the last 20 years. Some believe the occurrences are increasing in recent years, though experts speculate that may be a misunderstanding, and there are simply more discoveries since media coverage has grown. Some of the feet have been identified, some are too decomposed for DNA analysis. It is said that the sheer volume of people around the Puget Sound leads to a large number of corpses in the waters for various reasons, as experts told Fox in 2017. From there, ocean scavengers generally start with the softest parts of the body, often above the ankle, which could lead to detached extremities. When the corpses are wearing sneakers, the most buoyant shoe option, detached feet can be carried by water to shore due to the flow of water. Some believe there are more sinister reasons, but it is most likely the specific conditions surrounding the Salish Sea that lead to the greater discovery of feet on the beaches. Of the identified feet, the majority belong to missing individuals who are believed to have died either by suicide or accidentally. This is the Bigfoot spotted on video walking along the wildlife overcrossing on I-90. What? Well, hold on a second. Let me check the chat. Robert Moore is here. He says, hello, all. Thumbs up, everyone. Remember to share. Thank you. Welcome to the chat, Robert. Washington's many Bigfoot sightings. Washington has seen its fair share of claims regarding Bigfoot. The cryptid species has reportedly been spotted across Northwest Forest. The Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization's database says Washington has had more sightings than any other state, with over 700. The Washington National Guard even has information on the legend, including the fact that Sasquatch is derived from the Salish word Sasquitz. Probably not pronouncing it correctly, but there it is. Multiple counties have enacted legal protections for the potential species, placing fines and other punishments for anyone who kills a Sasquatch. Some Washington areas are more popular for sightings than others, including the Olympic Peninsula surrounding Lake Wenatchee, the Oregon Butte area, and around Mount Rainier. A legendary Bigfoot races along Bay Street in downtown Bellingham, Washington, in a 2004 commercial for a film festival. The actor was portraying a Bigfoot filmmaker in a hurry to enter his work. And my first thought when I seen this picture was, this is a gym or something. He's got one of the weight plates, but I guess it's a roll of film. The International Bigfoot Conference even has been held in Tri-Cities in the past. The creature's image has been used by brands across the state as a mascot for marketing or other purposes. Yeah. It's all about the money. Where's Raptor at? I know Raptor has a thing or two to say about that. Mr. Lee finally getting in here. What's up, Mr. Lee? Everybody getting your highs and your hellos. Yep. Theories of Prosser's Gravity Hill. In a rural outskirts of Prosser, there is a place referred to as Gravity Hill. If you drive up to the bottom of the hill, then put your car in neutral, you're naturally pulled to the top of the hill and down the road. There are several theories as to why that happens. There are similar occurrences in other states and even other countries, but no definitive explanation. The most ominous and far-fetched is that ghost children push your car up the hill. Some say that dusting dirt or flour on the back of your car before you start will prove this, claiming small handprints will be visible after the trip. Other theories include a magnetic reaction in the landscape. One more popular theory, even being investigated by scientists, is that it's an optical illusion. While on ground level, you wouldn't be able to discern if the hill you're on is actually part of a larger hill. The theory essentially is that being on a hill within a hill would cause this movement, as you'd naturally follow the flow of the larger hill. Some believe that this theory has no credence in Prosser based on elevation testing. At this point, no one knows exactly why Gravity Hill moves cars the way it does. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. It's probably just an optical illusion, but there could be something more strange going on. Sleeping Beauty's rolled up in here. Welcome. Mima Mounds. Let me make sure I'm in the right place. There we go. The Mima Mounds Natural Area Preserve showcases another natural phenomena that have stumped scientists for decades. A series of dirt mounds up to 7 feet high and 40 feet across, occurring in conjunction. The phenomenon has been described as soil or prairie pimples. Like Gravity Hill, there are several occurrences like the Mima Mounds across the world, but still no conclusive explanation as to how they occur. The natural area preserve is the best way to see the hills of silt, sand, and pebbles, though other sets appear in the area. The Washington State Department of Natural Resources has publications on the possible explanations. Some believe the mounds are a result of seismic activity. Others believe it was glacial impact. There is no shortage of theories into the phenomenon, but no concrete explanation. So I don't know if they've been able to rule out a man-made situation here. But if you look at experiments involving vibration and how they affect, like sand or some kind of other substrate like that, and make it form into patterns. Well, earthquakes are a vibration. So it's conceivable that this material was arranged like this by an earthquake of just the right vibration to affect this particular sediment in this way. And then when the vibration stopped, the mounds were left in their place, as they were arranged by the vibration. That's just a hypothesis. I've talked to you before about the incidents where of liquefaction, which is like if you take like your container of flour, if you got it in your kitchen, you shouldn't have flour, but if you do, and if you shake it at just the right rate, it behaves as a fluid. So if you could set an object in on top of that flour, and it will set right on top of the flour and it won't sink in. But if you're shaking that flour at just the right vibration to get it to behave as a liquid, and you put that object in there, it'll sink to the bottom, because if you expose a substrate, a soil, a sand, flour, whatever it is, they all have there's a frequency vibration that will affect them in such a way that they behave like a fluid. Well, if you have an earthquake that is shaking at the correct vibration to cause liquefaction of the soil underneath your feet, you will sink into the ground. And this has happened. There's been documented cases of this happening, where an earthquake caused liquefaction of the ground, the soil behaved as a liquid, and the people sank down into the soil. And like there was a case that my geology instructor was talking to us about, where the people sank in, but their heads were still sticking out, and people died and stuff. So dogs are going around eating people's heads and shit. Kind of gruesome. But you don't want to jack with geology. You don't want to jack with geology. Grasshoppers here says, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I argue that all of the phenomena that we talk about are natural. People want to label it as supernatural, but the reality is everything that exists is natural. So just because you don't understand it doesn't make it something outside of the natural. It's a natural phenomenon. You just don't understand it, right? So the word supernatural seems a little bit inaccurate. Ghosts, we've talked about the scientific explanation for ghosts, the scientific explanation for the spiritual realm, or what people call spiritual. Like I said, I don't like the word spiritual too much, because it carries with it a lot of connotation. To most people, when you say the word spiritual, they're thinking of a magical thing, right? It's magic. They don't use the term magic for it, but it's magic. You know, in the way they believe in it, it's magic. You know, you got some kind of supreme being waving a magic wand and creating shit out of nothing and stuff like that. Whereas I don't believe that. I believe that the everything that people perceive as these mystical things is really a perfectly well explained scientific natural phenomena. Yeah, if you want to call the consciousness, the mind, the universal mind, if you want to call that God, I guess that's cool, whatever. But if you're praying to it without, like, this is why prayer works to some extent. Like, it's documented that prayer works to some extent if you really believe. But the problem is people are doing this under a situation where they don't understand what's going on. You know, you don't understand the mechanisms behind it. You know, if you sent a hammer back in time and a caveman picked it up, he's not going to have a clue where this thing came from, how it's made. He doesn't know what it's made of. He's never seen steel before. He's never seen a hammer before either. He has no idea how to smelt ore. You know, he doesn't know any of this stuff. As far as he's concerned, this hammer is a gift, is a magical device given to him by the gods. But it has a perfectly good scientific explanation. He can use that hammer all day long without having any understanding about what it is, how it's made, what it's made of. He has no clue. But he still used the freaking hammer. Well, that's what's going on with people using prayer. And that's why they're not very effective with it. They do have some level of effectiveness, but once people really start to understand it, I think, and as we begin to train ourselves as a species to learn how to manipulate these forces more, you know, in a with better understanding. I mean, because it ain't like you understand the science and then you're suddenly able to just do shit. It's gonna take some time and training, developing the techniques and stuff like that. And I think eventually our species will be able to do stuff that's going to be looked on as damn, like, just masterful wizardry and shit, to it would look that way to people today. They'd be like, what the hell is this shit? This is, and so but that's where we're at. Prayer is like the hammer in the hands of that caveman. They're just beating shit with it. You don't know what it is. You don't know who made it or what it's made of, but you could beat the shit out of stuff with it. So hopefully by exploring these things, this is going to be a long process. We could talk here for the next 10 years about this stuff, and it will seem like we didn't get very far, but we have to take the steps. We have to take the steps. Look at if you look a lot at archaeological finds and look at just how incredibly long, thousands and thousands of years to make these developments that seem to us, we're looking back, it's like, well, why didn't they just make these developments? They could have figured this all out in a couple hours. No, it don't really work that way. You got to take these small steps, just very slow and gradual, and eventually you figure it out. Because part of the process is the adaptation of the organism to the new technology. You go too fast and you don't take the time to evolve to deal with the technology, you end with bad results. and possibly the extinction of the species if we're not careful. Some of the technologies we've come into so fast in these recent 50 years could kill us because we are cavemen beating on shit with a fucking hammer. Well, most of humanity. So we need to go through the process, and people are gonna be like, well, you know, when are we gonna see some real results? Well, you may not see it in your lifetime. That's just a reality of evolving as a species. It's just a reality. You're not going to see, you know, people don't understand evolution even, and it's well known. Biological evolution is pretty well known science at this point. And you know, you talk to, you know, the real scientists and they understand it, but people out there, they've only been through, you know, high school, you know, the brief exposure to that they get in high school, and it ain't much. You don't learn shit. You know, you don't learn shit in high school about evolution. You get told some stuff. You have no real understanding of it, though. This is why I've had so many grown ass men and women who have rejected evolutionary biology, evolution of humans, based on complete ignorance of how it works. And they ask me a question like, well, why aren't people walking out of the jungle? You know, why aren't monkeys turned into people and walking out of the jungle right now? Yeah, that person has absolutely dick for understanding about how evolution works. They have no clue. And I'm kind of inclined to just end the conversation with that person immediately and just walk away. I'm never going to be able to have a productive conversation with that person. They're too fucking ignorant. Sorry. They're too fucking ignorant. They're so ignorant, in fact, that they thought they sat there and really believed they were hitting me with a real zinger. I got him now. When you're ignorant enough that, well, you're stupid enough, really. When you're stupid enough that you can't even realize when you probably need to, like, not talk about something because you don't know enough to talk about it. You know, there's no point in an intelligent person talking to that person, but just beating their heads against the wall. You know, when Pat was sitting there debating with the flat earther and brings up some information about the length of the day in the country of Chile, and the flat earther proceeds to just deny that Chile exists because he's never seen it. Because I've never seen Chile, so it doesn't exist. You're now dealing with someone that's just completely brainwashed, or they're a troll. But there's no point in talking to them any further. They're just too fucking ignorant, or they're purposely acting like an ass. So some are in straight lines. This is grasshopper. Holding up, still dizzy all the time. I blame Bill Gates. What's your illness? Did you get bit by a Bill Gates mosquito? You didn't get the jab, did you? I gotta be a little more careful about about talking about the crap, because one of my live streams got taken off of the spare channel. It didn't get taken off here, but it got taken off over there for mentioning too much in that regard. But I think I'm perfectly safe to say that that I don't believe that anyone. People are dying, and it ain't from the C-19. Okay, it's on purpose. It's been reported to governmental agencies, by doctors, legit doctors, but the media won't report on this stuff as much as they can get away with. They don't want you to know that those of you that got an injection that are still alive, you're very lucky. You're very lucky. They exposed the fact that certain batches of that were purposely tainted with some bad stuff in order to purposely try to kill people in the areas that got those batches, and they were targeting conservative areas, it appears, at least to some extent. I can't believe there's still conservatives out there that are buying into this bullshit. I mean, I can't believe anyone bought into it, but what the fuck? You know, all you had to do was step outside, look it up and down the street. Do you see people dying in the street? No. Okay, then that's not a pandemic. I didn't see one. And then when they told people, "Oh, the hospitals are being smashed, or being inundated with people sick and dying, and they got refrigerated tractor trailers there, and they got tents set up to handle the overflow," and then the people that went to those hospitals to check found it was a ghost town. There wasn't nobody there. The media was straight up lying about that. So much about that whole thing. There's so many red flags and so many lies that people, I don't know how anyone, I'm still seeing people walking around with masks here and there. It's unbelievable the level of brainwashing that some of these zombies can be programmed with. Unbelievable. But I don't know what your health issue is, but the best thing you can do if you're suffering from some kind of health issue is slowly transition into a 100% fatty meat diet. And if you don't believe me, you need to spend time. There's 3 doctors. They all are on YouTube, and they explain stuff all the time on their channel. You need to spend time there, understand why my low blood sugar problems, serious low blood sugar problem, like that I've had since like my 20s at least. I didn't know at the time. I didn't know why I fell asleep behind the wheel of a car. Why was I falling asleep? Why I can't make myself stay awake sometimes? It was low blood sugar. It turned out I was having low blood sugar. Completely gone. Completely gone. And along with some other health issues, completely gone because of a fatty meat diet. Nothing in my diet from a plant. I went a solid 6 months like that. Everything, and you could imagine, got better. Health problems went away. Shit improved that I didn't know could be improved, that needed to be improved, like the sunburn thing. Like I used to get sunburned every spring, get out in the sun a little bit, and the skin's not got a tan built up, and got to get a little. It doesn't happen no more. Doesn't happen no more. Apparently, we're not supposed to get sunburnt like that. Humans used to run around butt ass naked in the natural sunlight, and there wasn't a goddamn problem with it. What happened? Well, 13,000 years ago, we started growing plants and eating a bunch of plants, and those toxins caused us to have a sensitivity to sunlight. I mean, that's my hypothesis about what's going on. All I know is carnivores everywhere are having this experience, including me and another family member who went fully carnivore, only is way stricter than me, and has just the improvements are just insane. Insane. The medical industry would probably like to shut me up and everyone talking about this, because this would cost them billions and billions of dollars. People with diabetes would not have it anymore. Heart disease, they would not have it anymore. The doctors will say, oh, cholesterol and saturated fat. Don't listen to that bullshit. Cholesterol and saturated fat are extremely healthy for humans to eat. Everything they tell you not to eat, almost always, it's something that's really healthy for you. And everything they say, oh, you got to eat a bunch of this, it is something unhealthy for you. Like broccoli and spinach. I talked about that before. Broccoli and spinach are both, oh, these are superfoods. No, they're poisonous to humans. Do not eat that stuff. Do not eat. There's a reason why broccoli tastes like shit. Now, I know some people, I run into people talk, I like broccoli. No, you've been convinced to like broccoli because you've been convinced that broccoli is healthy for you. That is a lie. Broccoli is not healthy for you. It is toxic. Do not fucking eat broccoli. If you do not believe me, go over and start watching Dr. Ken Berry. He's got a YouTube channel set up. Dr. Ken Berry. Probably one of the best ones to hit. Dr. Sean Baker. He's got a YouTube channel too. Dr. Anthony Chaffee, Chaffee. And if you can deal with the personality quirks, go check out Professor Bart K. He's in New Zealand. He's kind of a wild ride. He acts a little different, talks a little different than people in America are used to. But he's got some of the he gives you the very best information when it comes to eating carnivore, what humans are designed to eat. Talking about the physiological stuff that's going on, and telling people that calories have nothing to do with human physiology. Putting calories on the labels of the food is absolutely stupid, because it has nothing to do with human physiology. Don't look at calories. Every time someone mentions calories, you need to and there's still people that got a lot of good information about carnivore that still end up using calories, because it's been beat in our head for years. Calories, no, fuck calories. Calories has nothing to do with human physiology. Don't pay it no mind. Don't look at that cholesterol. They put cholesterol on the label. Don't look at that. In fact, don't look at anything on the labels anymore. It is on, because you don't have to get nothing but just meat, ground up fatty hamburger meat or fatty steak, bacon. You gotta watch out for stuff like some of the stuff like bacon. They add stuff, preservatives and stuff. You may need to try and hook up with a farmer somewhere and say, look, I don't want anything on my bacon but salt. You don't need anything more than salt. That's the fucked up thing. All you need is salt to preserve meat. You don't need, to put fucking corn syrup and this other bullshit. I know that's a little divergence from this. Trying to save lives. Here, I'll relate it to Bigfoot. Do not give this poisonous shit to Bigfoot. In fact, it's probably best not to feed Bigfoot. Bigfoot can feed his own ass out there. He's gonna steal some deer off your land, or maybe even a odd calf or something. He might snatch a calf here and there, and you'll be like, "Oh shit, coyotes must have got it." Well, maybe, or Bigfoot got it. Raptor says, hello, everyone. What's up, Raptor? Grasshopper says, not on a regular basis. I live in the big city, so Wi-Fi is everywhere in 5G. Does it help when you can? Says Icon. Cindy's here. Welcome. Grasshopper says, well, I pretty much neighborhood bound within a mile or so, still in the big city. could be wax buildup. What? Anything within that mile that would act as a Faraday cage. Grasshopper says it's neural stuff, no big. I'm just getting old and stuff going bad. Yeah, but trust me, like, go talk to Papa Craig, man. Papa Craig, everybody here knows Papa Craig. Papa Craig, he started off going keto, and keto is a good stepping stone to carnivore. But you need to take a stepping. You need to ease into carnivore over several weeks. Keep a food log, track everything, make sure that your intake of plants is going down, and you're eating nothing but meat. By the end of it, probably like with me, I was eating 25 to 33% as much food as I used to. So I was eating 2/3 less food, or and sometimes 3/4 less food, like way less food, because I didn't need it. My body wasn't crying out for proper nutrition. My body wasn't crying out for additional resources to combat all the plant toxins and stuff like that. Now, if I ever got really lean down, maybe I would have been more hungry. I don't know. I didn't get like super lean, but I did get leaner than I'd been in years. When I stuck on carnivore for 6 months, I stopped doing cardio because I hate doing cardio anyway. But I lift heavy, so I try to lift good and heavy, but not too heavy. You got to know, what the limits are. But I stopped doing cardio, and I was still losing weight, because your body, if you're eating what you're naturally designed to eat, which is fatty meat, woolly mammoths, mastodons. We don't have those anymore, but we do have cattle, and that's a good enough substitute. It counts. If you're eating what you're naturally designed to eat, fatty meat, your body will go to whatever its natural status is supposed to be. So if you're overweight, you're going to lose weight, and so on. But if you got health problems like neurological problems, a lot of people are healing neurological problems by eating carnivore. Like all kinds of, and stuff that you didn't think could heal just gets better. Even if you can't heal it entirely, you're going to heal it as much as is humanly possible by eating what your body, because your body needs the resources to heal. That's part of the problem. All of your systems are inflamed from eating plants, because these toxins are just getting in all your cells. All these seed oils and stuff, they get inside the cells, and it takes years to get this crap out, and they're toxic. Canola oil, soybean oil, all this crap that they sneak it into all the food. There's a reason. They know this is keeping people sick and less able to heal. It's causing all kinds of just all kinds of diseases. But you mentioned neurological. A lot of these neurological problems will improve if you go to a fully carnivore diet. They've known about treating, like, with a keto kind of diet for, like, what was it, schizophrenia or something like that. They've known that for a long time. They've known, but they don't want people to know this, that you can get into far better health if you eat what you're naturally supposed to eat. It's just, you got to break yourself of the carb addiction. And it's hard because it's like a drug addiction. It's like it's as strong as cocaine. At my best then. That's why you got to read books. That's why you got to read books as Raptor. Grasshopper says a neighbor got the shots and lost her use of her legs. Holy shit. Getting that back slowly, but now she's getting Parkinson, like tremors, neuro stuff from the shots. Holy crap. I mean, is nobody else just enraged by this? Our government did this to us. They purposely did this to us. They committed a genocide with this thing. They put it right in your arm. They didn't have to round you up in the camps. People just obeyed. They obeyed and just went and got their lethal injection. Cindy says, I'm evolving. It was zombie juice, says Mr. Lee. Oh, that sucks, says Icon. Let me gotta put some soup on. Still listening. Be right back, says Grasshopper. Cindy says, well, good to see you. My kitchen needs cleaned up. Have a good evening. Mr. Lee put Kim Berry's channel up. It's like not fast enough food. Robert says, I like not fast enough food. Professor Bart K channel. I see Mr. Lee put the link up for that. Icon says, I've been watching a few live jazz YouTube streams from New York City for the past several months and have seen very few moron mufflers, surprisingly. Batmom's put a link up to something there. Raptor says 13,000 years ago, we have more hair on us. Helped block the sun. You got your timeline a little bit off, Raptor. 13,000 years ago, we basically looked the same as we do now. Some minor differences. The scientists have estimated that the gene for blue eyes, I think it's called ACA2, it only formed roughly 6,000 years ago. Now, they could be off. But that gene also causes people to be slightly more pale, as I recall. So people might have been a little bit more tan, but not much. Like it's a very slight thing. But humans, I mean, those were modern humans, and modern humans go back for way further back than that. We weren't hairy apes at that time. That was way further back, and probably further back than most people can even imagine right now. Because look, you gotta understand, when they make those they get an artist to do a reconstruction and try to make like Lucy. They put hair all over Lucy. They're assuming all that hair on Lucy. Okay, now I don't think we got time tonight to kind of go into why I think they're wrong. I think that Lucy was far more reduced in body hair, but they don't know. They just assumed that because they got this whole idea that we just kind of gradually lost our hair over the last 4, 5, 6 million years, rather than it occurring pretty early on at this, like whenever we developed our upright body walking upright. The same circumstances that led to us evolving that upright walking is also what it looks like caused us to have a largely hairless body. That means that hairlessness, as soon as you see upright walking hominids or even Australopithecines, you got a body that's hairless. I mean, it's not totally hairless, obviously. It's not as reduced as a dolphin. Dolphins do have hair. It's just much finer and much more reduced. But they did have reduced. They had to. And again, it would take a while to kind of go in and explain why. But 13,000 years ago, those humans looked just like us, pretty much. Just like this. Maybe they might have on average looked more like Vivek Ramaswamy. But there were Caucasian people, there was African people, like all these different types of people did exist at that time. That's not that far back. 13,000 years ago is not that far back. That's why the dietary, or the diet that we evolved for by that point in time, still applies today. there hasn't been enough time to evolve to a different type of diet yet. There just hasn't been, and we haven't kept our diet the same. I mean, we've gotten wild with it, like important shit from different parts of the world, adding this and then modifying it, selectively breeding, and now GMO, genetically modifying directly. Like there has been no time to adjust to any of this shit. At least not very much. The very tiny about, but not. That's a huge subject. It basically no. And we didn't have more hair. Sorry. Still have that hair, Raptor. Dr. Sean Baker's channel. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Calorie rubbish. Yeah. What? No wonder peeps cannot lose weight. 4 egg, cheese, and bacon omelet for dinner, says Mr. Lee. That's funny. I had the same thing for breakfast this morning. Cheese and bacon omelet. Go eat again. Salt or old-fashioned smokehouse. Yeah, you could just smoke it or dehydrate it or something. Mr. Lee says smoked bacon I prefer. Sugar, grains, and vegetable oils. If you keep these things out of your diet and eat more meat, you are on your way to a healthy diet. Telling you. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Lee. All right, so sorry for that public service announcement there, but trying to save lives, folks. If you just hear me. Yeah, go talk to Papa Craig if you don't trust Lockbeard, okay? Go talk to Papa Craig. I think most people trust Papa Craig. So the next thing, the weird thing in Washington, does Mel's hole exist? I bet Mel has a hole. His boyfriend knows. Okay, I just started a bad rumor. Speculation about the existence of Mel's hole has gone on since the late 90s when it was first publicly mentioned. A national show received a call from Mel Waters about a hole on his Kittitas County property, seemingly bottomless. There were claims of the hole's fantastical powers, including an ability to resurrect animals. Theories started popping up everywhere, from alien involvement to military disposal. There were many ideas. However, no one has ever been able to credibly confirm the hole exists. A vague location has been given, but it includes a fairly large area of private property on Manistash Ridge. The Yakima Herald Republic investigated the claims by looking into county records and found no one by the name of Mel Waters living in the area. Geologists wrote off the possibility of Mel's hole after claims that it was at least 80,000 feet deep. Experts say this is physically impossible. Yeah, it is physically impossible. Regardless, since the first call from Mel Waters, there have been news articles, documentaries, books, and many discussions dedicated to the story. Washington, hotbed for UFO sightings. Bigfoot isn't the only paranormal sighting the Evergreen State is known for. There is also a high frequency of UFO or UAP sightings in Washington. In fact, a 2022 Achaeos study ranked Washington as the state with the most per capita sightings based on data from the National UFO Reporting Center. While many people are familiar with the acronym UFO, Unidentified Flying Object, the former acronym has been established as UAP. Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, an effort to ease the stigma. Whatever you call them, sightings of unexplained aircraft are common in Washington. Perhaps the most popular spot is around Mount Rainier, like the most well-known sighting in Washington. In 1947, private pilot Kenneth Arnold reported seeing 9 shiny UAPs moving at fast speeds. It was his explanation of the aircraft that led to widespread use of the term flying saucer. Due to the nationwide appeal of the story, the subsequent government investigation, some believe Arnold's sighting set off the following decades of public fascination with UAPs. The Evergreen State has been a hotbed for sightings ever since. All right, I gotta criticize the use of the phrase "the Evergreen State" more than once in an article is a no-no. Okay, you can use it once. You can use it once. This isn't even like an article. This is like, what is this? 1, 2, 3. I guess we can count that as 4, 5, 6, 7 paragraphs, and you used Evergreen State twice. No, you use it once, you absolute hack. All right, anyway. Fucking flying saucer. Danny says, I had ham and egg omelet this morning. Y'all, I got LOL, all I got to say. Miss Lee says, Dan, that's good breakfast. Well, I'm a little disappointed. I thought for sure they'd have a picture of Brent here. Talk about all the weird stuff in Washington. Does Brent not count? This is on a website called Bro Bible. Multiple witnesses report yet another Bigfoot sighting in the state of Washington. Raptor says, it looks like that flying wing shape that the Germans did during World War II. Perhaps it is the Germans. Let's see. There's a lot of people wandering around here. The state of Washington is one of the biggest hotspots in America for sightings of the elusive Bigfoot. According to the BFRO, they have more. I think they mean they have more sightings in that one northwestern state than any other in the nation. Where is your editor? I'm in the second paragraph and I already found a freaking. I'm not even gonna call that a typo. It's the wrong damn word. All right. BFRO records show 717 different reports having taken place in the state of Washington over the years. The state closest to it in number of Bigfoot sightings is California, way down at 461 reports. Okay, stop. Does anybody know what I'm about to say about this? I'm not fitting on the screen, am I? Hold on a second. Need to shrink it up just a little bit. I don't think that's going to work, though. Oh, yeah, we're on there. We're on there. Mr. Lee says, Mr. Pat wants to shoot Sasquatch in the face. No, he don't want to shoot Sasquatch in the face. Raptor says, sort of. All right. Let me go get the actual numbers here. Hold on a second. All right. California, 163 and some change. We'll round it up. 164,000 square miles. 164,000 square miles. The state of Washington, hold on a second, is 71,000 square miles. It's less than half the size of California by quite a bit. So why is this a problem? This is a problem because when you're using the wrong figures to explain a thing, right? When you're looking at something like this, the number, you got it. They're just giving the number of reports in the state without accounting for how big the state is, how much area the state covers. So I don't know if I should bust out a calculator and figure out what the if we count, of course, BFRO, you know, they censor some of the reports. They don't put all the reports up. Basically what this amounts to, though, is that the California is the number, the California's sightings per square mile are far lower. They're far lower than Washington, right? It's far. This using these just the number of sightings in the state without accounting for how much area the state has gives you a false impression that California is closer to Washington state than it really is when it comes to Bigfoot sighting. No, it's further apart. And they're putting here the state closest to it in number of Bigfoot sightings is California. This is not an accurate representation of the situation. So you got to account for how much area the state has. California is way further behind Washington than this implies. I mean, I could probably, let me see here. Let me see here. So what we got? We got $717. Okay, 164. Man, such a small number. Wish I had something better to represent this, but 4354. 4354. Hold on a second. Just a minute. I'm going to put it in chat so people can visualize it. Hopefully this lays out properly. Give me just a minute more. Whoops. Dang it. I'm already screwing it up. Already screwing it up. Hold on a second. Seven, 1, 7. Zero, 1005. 156. Just a second. Just a second. Oh man, where's that AI at when we're trying to do stuff like this? And California had 461. Divided by, what was it, 164,000 and some change. Or sorry, 461. 163 and some change. Zero, 288. No, 0028. We'll call it 2. All right. If I didn't jack up my math, I'm throwing it in chat. So it comes up that Washington has basically 0.1 sightings per square mile. And California has 0.00, basically 3 sightings per square mile. It's way smaller. It's way smaller than the numbers they gave imply. It's somewhere between a quarter and a third. Somewhere between a quarter and a third. Whereas if you go look at what they gave you, they just gave you the total number of sightings. And it's showing that California has over half by far. Well, that's not an accurate representation. Like, you got to give the proper units, the proper statistics of things. You can't give information like this without considering how much area we're talking about. California is way less of a Bigfoot hotspot than Washington, much further than these numbers here would imply. So excuse my OCD on this matter, but this is just unacceptable right here. Get your shit right. Whoever wrote this damn article. Raptor says, this is what I've been saying. Too many people out there making false claims of seeing Bigfoot and making up stories. No proof. But I am a troll for asking, where's your proof? No, you're not a troll for asking, where's the proof? Uncle Bones is here. He says, hey, got the notice, 68 minutes. Do I need to, like, I had, like, yeah, I don't think I got you on my email list? Send me an email, because I don't think I got your email. Because I usually send an email out of a short email list, but I send an email out just before the live stream, or sometimes up to 2 hours before. Because of this, because YouTube doesn't notify people. Oh, and also earlier at the beginning, I showed people that I had revamped the Kindred, the Embraced. I don't know if you were watching this one, but I went ahead because I wanted to make it look clean and more organized and more all the proper information, the titles of the episodes and stuff like that. Like, it's all chaotic when I'm putting together a playlist from other people's channels. So I uploaded my own copies of this on the Dark Zone channel, which is my channel. For those that don't know, the Dark Zone is my channel that I'm using to put stuff like this, because this material is you can't monetize it because it's reused material. You can't monetize it. So I had to delete this stuff. I had this stuff on my channel and on this channel, and had to delete it. I had reused material on my channel. I had to delete it. So anyway, this is a playlist that I made it nice and made it look nice and clean, and provide the episode number and the title of the episode and stuff like that, and thumbnails. A lot of times they don't have thumbnails at all, some of these people. So and then of course I did the blood ties again, re-uploaded all of them. They're on my spare channel, and made thumbnails for them so it looks nice and clean. So yeah. Yep. Almost missed everything. Yep, he almost missed everything. All is useless. Can't even make a effing bong. What? Yeah. So they're like, hopefully that puts things in a little more perspective. California is further away from Washington in Bigfoot sightings than these numbers here would imply. This is more accurate because it accounts for the area of the state, how many square miles. So that's Washington is 0.01 sightings per square mile. California is 0.00, basically 3 sightings per square mile. Somewhere between a quarter and a third per square mile than what Washington is. It's just this is the proper way to represent that information. That's not freaking killing me. Red Coast says, "What's going on, everyone? What's up, Red Coast?" Yeah, he's trying to rebrand Mr. Lee. Help a brother out. Icon says, "Does anyone?" I mean, really? I mean, well, for that matter, why not like drop the red altogether? Drop the red altogether, but like make it, totally different name that can't be connected. But everyone's going to see that and know. Most people are going to know. And especially with Mr. Lee telling everybody. Icon says, "Does anyone have any clue as to how many thousands of Bigfoot cutouts and really stoned people there are in Washington, huh?" Well, and that's the real problem, isn't it? I think everyone in Washington's a little high. Except Brent might be the only person that isn't, but don't quote. I don't know about that. Mr. Lee says, Red Research. What happened to your contents? He dumped them. He's trying to revamp things and change things a little bit. He asked that we all bear with him, right? And see where he goes. Got some great stuff coming up, though, says Red Coast. Uncle Bone says, put it on a short of your community tab, Lockbeard. On a short or on my community tab. Oh, you mean, what do you mean something about the playlist, or I think everyone has to go back, unsubscribe, and subscribe again to put on the bell notification. I got today's right when he came on. I came in late. I had to work over. Yeah, Dark Zone. Yeah, Mr. Lee belting out the links to everything. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Raptor says, Mr. Lee, he has another channel. Yeah, I'm going to use it for stuff that's going to be a problem that prevents monetization, because I can reapply again later, but because as many of you know, I was trying to apply for monetization and YouTube denied me, and it was because of reused content. So I need to go over things and try to get rid of things that are reused content, and then reapply later. I got to wait a certain amount of time, but and try again. But otherwise, this channel won't be monetized. Of course, YouTube probably don't want to monetize me. They probably got 1,000 reasons they're not even mentioning. Right? That just sounded legit, you know. Red Creek says, Red Creek Mafia is the name of my old hunting club when I was in my early 20s. The name just kind of stuck because I grew up in Red Creek Wildlife Management area. Too much into that show. Yeah. Well, not everybody's going to be into it, but people that are into paranormal stuff, you know, a lot of times are also into science fiction and fantasy shows, vampires and stuff like that. So, UFOs, all that good stuff. Icon says, I don't think Brent needs to get high. Mr. Lee says, Raptor, it's a bit cheesy for me, but some people like it. Well, it is, you know, they at the time, it may not have seemed that cheesy. It was the time, you know, but you know, it's not a bad show. Not a really bad show. It's got some interesting concepts, you know, different ideas of how vampires might work, you know. Uncle Mel says notify on the community tab day or morning. Oh, okay, gotcha. I might try something like that. Yeah. But I mean, if they don't, but if YouTube's not going to notify them of a live stream, is YouTube going to notify them of a community tab post? You know, I don't know, but that might be a workaround though. I might give that a try and see what happens. This releases icon could be fun to smoke a fat one with Brent. Icon says, Mr. Lee, we'd have to tether him down so he don't float away. Harvey Dent's here. He says, Red Creek Crybaby is here. Now, why you got to come in going after someone like that? Come on, Harvey Dent. Come on. We get it. You don't like Red Creek. But he's deleted all his content. He's trying to restart his channel and change the way he approaches things. So how about we just hang back a little bit and see how it goes? You know. Mr. Lee says, icon. Yeah, Brent might put a whitey on us. Pull a whitey on it? What the hell does that mean? Just messing with him? All right. Well, after I've totally fixated on this top paragraph here for freaking 30 minutes now, I guess. I don't know. Let's move on. That's one of the big reasons why a hunter recently contacted the Stevens County Sheriff's Office in Washington to inquire about the legality of actually shooting the creature. The most recent Bigfoot sighting reported to the BFRO in Washington took place at 12:16 p.m. in Thurston County by 3 people on a clear day back in February. A 31-year-old witness in this case, unlike many others, were able to provide an extraordinary amount of information and detail regarding their encounter. They quote him here. My friend and I and my 3.5-year-old son were riding motorcycles in private timberland just outside of Centralia, about 30 minutes from my house, one witness explained. We made it to a clearing. My son was sitting on the front of my bike. He started pointing across the valley to a ridge-line clearing. He was pointing at something running across the ridge top. As the crow flies, we were roughly half a mile away and a few hundred feet lower. It was very large and human-shaped. There was one color, tan-brown, moving across very rugged terrain, making a beeline to the tree line. We watched it for easily 30 seconds before it went out of sight. The witness also added that it was easily 10 feet tall and moved with a little arm movement, unlike a human running. Moved with little arm movement, unlike a human running. According to BFRO investigator Scott Taylor, the area where the sighting took place is well known for Bigfoot sightings and seems to be a travel corridor between the Capitol Forest and the Bald Hills. BFRO investigator Matt Moneymaker also spoke with the witness and reported the behavior to note, and the behavior to note is moving along power line routes. The time of day is important in that context. This tall, visible Sasquatch was walking out in the open in broad daylight, but it was doing it where no humans are usually around to see them. Think Bluff Creek in 1967, or certainly not approach them. Moneymaker also stated that the witness grew up in the Tacoma area and does a lot of motorcycle trail riding, which has allowed him to explore a lot of backcountry. He has observed large animals and humans near and far while riding around in the hills over the years. This figure was observed at a half-mile distance, but with an unobstructed view as it moved along out in the open, Moneymaker continued. Both he and his riding companion were certain they were watching something that was upright and roughly 10 feet tall. If it had been a human, they would have figured that out. They were certain it was too big to be human. Not really going to count the child as a witness, but we got 2 people here who saw this. Or they're claiming to have seen this. So, what do y'all think? Nothing crazy happened. There was no mind speak. The thing didn't fart out any orbs. It didn't jump into a portal. It didn't hitchhike on a UFO. It didn't cloak like the Predator or blow itself up to kill Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was just a big, tall, hairy dude walking around. So that to me is a decent, believable, plausible Bigfoot sighting. Now, whether these guys are, on crack or something is another matter, but Red Coast says, "You're just as bad as Dogman, a little coward that doesn't show his face." Oh. Harvey Dent says, "I'm in Florida on vacation. Just came in from Disneyland." Yeah. Hearing bad things about Disneyland these days. How was the bathroom situation? Red Coast says, "Basically a troll, just like Brent said. You have 0% credibility." Raptor says, "How many channels do you guys make up? Holy cow." Well, you can make a bunch of them. Part of the problem is, like, you know, you can only do so many verifications with a particular phone number. So if you don't have multiple phones at your disposal to do verifications, you got a problem. Like with the Dark Zone channel, I had to do a phone verification, because without the verification, they won't let you upload videos longer than, I think, 15 minutes, I think it is. So I had a little problem there, but it worked. Managed to get it verified. So R2D2's here, says, "Beep beep beep bop boop." R2D2. Icon says, "Just this one Raptor." Yeah, most people just have one. You can make as many as you need, but this is what you need it for. Like, are you making it just to troll people? Are you making it to hide your identity so you can do certain things? Hang out in a chat where they would normally, like, if I go to certain people's chat under the name Lockbeard, they might ban me immediately because they don't like me. I don't know what's going on in here. There's so many people around. Raptor says that Mr. Lee, "I know some of who they are, but they also add more. So then I'm kind of wondering what." Harvey Dent says, "Oh yeah, Red, didn't you share a bunch of pedo stuff on someone? Maybe you're a troll." Dang, we're bringing up the P word again. Are we? Chewbacca's here, or he says, "This is how you know Chewbacca is a pirate. He is a pirate because he speaks the pirate lingo." Icon says, "Damn it, I'm too lazy to make a new channel." Stop it. Tim Boy says, "What's up?"
Level out, come on.
Yeah, Tim Boy says, "What's up?" Raptor says, "Donald sent me a link. I went on it. I put save and it didn't save it a couple months back." Listening to your counter, you believe Red Coast Research's encounter? Probably to one of his spare channels, Mr. Lee. To make other channels on you. Oh, to make other channels? Icon says, "Donald must be washing his witch windows again." Raptor says, "I know you guys talk to each other on Twitch, Twitter, and everything else. I can't do that. All I have is YouTube." I don't use Twitch. I don't like Twitter. I go over there to post my videos, my live streams. I post my live streams there for the most, but that's pretty much all I do. I don't like Twitter. I never like Twitter. I don't understand Twitter. It don't make any damn sense how it works. Facebook used to make more sense how it works, but they changed stuff and then they started censoring people for, you know, saying different stuff, and it's just stupid. I hate Facebook. I try to stay off of it, you know. Unfortunately, there's some people that the only means of communication I have with them is on Facebook, because you know, for various reasons, you know, it's where I come across them, or some cases I don't want to give them my damn phone number, you know, stuff like that. But Mr. Lee says, Raptor, YouTube is my only platform. I hate Facebook and Twitter rubbish. Redco says, it will flip your life upside down if you ever see one of these things. That's about all I got. Danny says, when I saw Bigfoot, it ruined my life for years. Redco says, Twitter is woke media. Well, Elon Musk has tried to fix it and done a lot of good there, but it's not 100% fixed. And you know, so I don't know what his game is or what. The old book face is evil. Well, the Zuckerberg is definitely some evil shit. That guy is not to be trusted. You know, you have these computer nerds who got too rich and the money went to their head and they went nuts. I mean, Facebook started out as an application to rate, you know, women, you know, how hot they were. So this guy, like, Zuckerberg has, he could code, and he chose to use that to rate how hot women were, and then somehow that just blew up into this big freaking thing, and the dude became super damn rich. And you know, is that guy gonna he used his computer skills to do what? And then he got rich. What do you think he's going to do with all the money? What's he going to use that for? He's going to probably do some fucked up shit. And he has. So screw that guy. Screw Zuckerberg. And I've known plenty of computer wizards that were great guys. Zuckerberg's not one of them. I mean,
I'm surrounded by assholes.
Mr. Lee, where's Tom? I need to designate a remote viewing object for Jessica. She needs to prove herself to Lockbeard. And she needs to stay away from those tasty teenage boys.
Look like a tasty teenage boy.
Oh, MySpace days, yeah. Mr. Lee, you love Tom. Oh. All right. So, Australian Department of Defense releases a 10-page UFO dossier. That's more pages than our government gave us. We'll let some light in here. Till the sun goes down, then I might have to add Although I'm probably going to cut out a 2-hour mark. I'm not going to stay on too late. Bring it, Tom. You and your Scientology cult. Bring it. You biatch. Go make me another decent movie. You make good movies, Tom. Go make good movies. Stop. Don't be hopping around on Oprah's couch and trying to act like you're energetic at the ripe old age of, what is he, 53 now? Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Just make movies. Make movies. Let me see here. Oh, fuck. I'm way underestimating him. Tom Cruise is 61 years old. Holy shit. Tom, you about ready to collect Social Security, man. You still need to make me some movies. Stop wasting time on bullshit. Harvey Dent says Jessica Jones couldn't tell you what's in her own refrigerator. Red Coast says, question for Mr. Locke. What is your opinion on the Patterson Gimlin footage and the Freeman footage? I have mixed reviews. I would just like to hear what you have to say about it. Well, I mean, I have to say, I'm not 100% certain on anything, but Patterson Gimlin footage, I think there's far less likelihood that that's a hoax than if you saw a similar film today, right? That being said, I think it is very possible that could be a hoax. It is possible. I mean, a lot of people try to make argument that it's not possible because, our best costumes were what they put in the Planet of the Apes movie and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, but you can't see that. You can't see that clearly. People going in trying to clean up it. You're not going to prove whether or not that's a costume by modifying the video and trying to look for zippers and all kinds of stuff like that. Looking for a seam or trying to see if you can see the calf muscle or not. It's just, you just got to take the video for what it is. It's there's definitely some little bit of shady stuff surrounding it. So, I mean, if I had the money, I would make a film, and I don't want to give any details of how I would do it. I would make a film for the purposes of showing people how easy it would be to hoax that film, the Patterson Gimlin footage. Freeman footage, I don't know about that, but there's not enough information, but I think it's probably not real. So, Sleeping Beauty says Hollywood doesn't make movies much anymore. Well, they're gonna start tanking because they keep making crap movies. What's they're doing this Romeo and Juliet, and Juliet's black now. These are they're taking traditional stories from Europe and changing the characters into blacks, and they're doing it because they know people are going to be called bullshit on it, and then they can turn around and point at those people and say, you're being racist. No, we're not being racist. We're pointing out that you're being racist. Because if we took a traditional African story and made a movie and replaced any of the characters that were African characters with white characters, you guys would lose your fucking mind. And it would be wrong to do because it's not accurate to what the story was. It's like with the Little Mermaid, to turn the Little Mermaid black, but Mermaids is a a European legend. That story, the kind of thing comes. So anyway, back to Romeo and Juliet. So there's been this whole battle online about changing Juliet to a black woman, a black girl. And there's been this funny debate where people are like, no, we're not complaining that she's black. We're complaining that she's butt ugly. Holy shit. People are like, I wouldn't betray my family for someone so fucking ugly. It's been quite an entertaining thing. The real entertainment out of the movies these days is the reaction to it. Watching people doing reviews of these crappy ass movies. Like a lot of movies, I don't watch the movie. I watch the trailers. I watch clips from the movie, so you get most of the movie in the clips and the trailers, and from spoiler reviews. You can watch spoiler reviews that are impartial. They just tell you what happened in the damn movie, right? But then you can watch people giving their assessment of the movies and just tearing them up one side or another. Now you could go watch what's her name, Grace Randall, who is a weird behaving lady who has her head all the way up her ass. You can go watch her talk. She's kind of a leftist nut of some type, some variety. She doesn't give an accurate explanation of any movie ever. Or you can watch the other guys. I like what people like the critical drinker say, Nerdrotic, those types of people, Doomcock, even Victor von Doomcock, he always wears a mask. Midnight's Edge. These kind of people, when they review movies, they're people I agree with what they say about movies, I know because of what the movies I do watch, and I see what they say about the movies. I say, yeah, that's right. Grace Randall, no, everything she says is fucking bullshit. She's a goddamn shill, and her opinion is about as worthless as a used wad of toilet paper on the floor of a public restroom that some drunk person pissed on after eating a lot of asparagus. Yes. Yeah. And she's weird, dude. If you never watched her, go watch her, see how weird she acts. And her eyes do weird shit. Like she's fucking having a stroke right before your eyes half the time. Mr. Lee says, Tom, swing by later and pick me up. Tom Cruise says, Mr. Lee, I have fighter pilot night classes with Mr. Pat later another time. Oh, crap. Still waiting on Tom to get in trouble. Does the church will protect him forever? I don't know. Mr. Lee says, Joker 2 movie is coming out. It has Lady Gaga as love interest. Redco says the Patterson Gimlin footage has been trying to be disproven for the last 50 years. There's been a few people that's poked holes in it, but there's also been some good evidence that it could be real. Yeah. I mean, I just don't know. It can't be 100% on it. But people that say that they could not have hoaxed that, I think that they're wrong. I think they could have hoaxed that. I'm not saying they did. I think they could have. Raptor says, with the Patterson film, make you sure you have zipper showing and everything else. Redco says, so I'm just kind of at a stalemate with it. Yeah. I think everybody's got to, because we're not going to get, unless there's like a admission left behind by someone else, or I don't know. or maybe some AI technology can pick something else out of the film. I don't know. I think we're never going to get a real answer out of that film. What year was the PG film made? Was it 67? Yeah. Yeah, 1967, same year. Hold on a second. I'll pop this on the screen. Same year. Oops. Hey, cooperate. Same year as the USS Liberty incident, when our enemy that was supposed to be our ally, but they're our enemy, and they have been ever since 1967, Israel attacked one of our ships, claimed they made a mistake, but our ships didn't look anything like anything from fucking Egypt. So shut the fuck up, Israel, you lying ass bitches. What happened is they overheard the USS Liberty intercepted some communications that Israel didn't want anybody to have or hear. So they decided that it'd be a jolly good idea to attack a U.S. ship, an allies ship, and killed a bunch of our men, and they shot at lifeboats, which is a big no-no, so on and so forth. So Israel, we should turn Israel into a glass fucking parking lot over this bullshit. So fuck Israel for this bullshit. We could discuss what's going on right now and how there's enough blame for every side in the matter, and we shouldn't be supporting wars being fought by any other country in the world. Only our own military should be funded by American taxpayers. But this incident right here, there shouldn't have even been in Israel after this. We should have fucking obliterated them. They hadn't been around for 2 decades without fucking us over and killing our people. Fuck you, Israel, for doing that, and you should have been obliterated at that time, 1967, when the Patterson-Gimlin footage was taken. Sorry, folks. Little diversion there. I don't like other countries, especially our allies, getting away with killing our soldiers. It's fucking bullshit. It just kind of gets forget this. You know, Israel was made to pay some money, but look, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars or whatever it was, it's not enough to answer for the betrayal that this was. This Mark Commode, best English movie critic, says Mr. Lee, shot on Super 8 or Sweet 16. What? Raptor says, wow, I put in the 1967 when Patterson film was made, then the phone shuts off. What the heck? It's a touchy year, man. It's a touchy year. Government don't want you asking too many questions. Red Coast says none of us was there that day in 1967 where Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin was going through that creek, so we will never know. All right, let's read this article here. Australian Department of Defense releases 10-page UFO dossier. The Australian Department of Defense recently released a 10-page UFO dossier to the public in response to a Freedom of Information Act request. In the documents, investigations and other reports created between July and October 2023 mention 17 DoD communications about UFOs and UAPs. However, compared to places such as the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom and China, Australia does not, at least based on these documents, appear to have much interest in the topic. There was no scientific or other compelling reason to continue to devote resources to the recording and investigation of UAPs, the Australian DoD wrote. Defense does not have a policy on reporting of unidentified aerial phenomena by either members of the public or defense members. Defense safety of flight incidents, including those potentially posed by UAPs, are handled by the Defense Aviation Authority, with civilian flight incidents the purview of the Civilian Aviation Authority. The 10-page UFO dossier makes several points clear. The Australian DoD does not have policy governing the reporting or recording of UAPs or UFOs by either members of the public or defense members, the documents state. The Air Force ceased the handling reports of UAPs in 1996 after determining there was no scientific or other compelling reason to continue to devote resources to the recording or investigating of UAPs. It continued. The Australian DoD also claimed in the documents that under Air Force aviation protocols, there have been no records of observations or sightings of unidentified aircraft over the past 10 years. On the other hand, they also state that they are aware of the U.S.-based All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, ARROW, within the United States DoD, and continue to monitor their reports. The Australian DoD also admits that as of the latest reporting dated April 19, 2023, they are examining a number of cases but have not found any credible evidence of extraterrestrial activity, off-world technology, or objects that defy the known laws of physics. Well, see, they could be telling the total truth here while leaving out what this probably really is. One, the known laws of physics to the government are different than what they've told the public. These objects are not defying the laws of physics. They're denying the laws. They're defying the laws of physics that the public's been told about, because those are wrong. You know, you've been told a bunch of Einstein bullshit. They say no, not found any credible evidence of extraterrestrial activity. Yeah, because the UFOs and UAPs that aren't our own stuff, advanced stuff that we have, are probably ancient aircraft or spacecraft or craft of some kind created by the ancient civilization of humans. So it's not extraterrestrial. So they can say there's no evidence of extraterrestrial activity, and it's true because it has nothing to do with goddamn aliens. That's part of the lie here. That's how they got things twisted on you, where you're expecting UFOs to be aliens instead of humans creating it 20,000 years ago, when we had an advanced civilization, a worldwide advanced civilization that was probably very capable of making a technology well beyond us. Our government's found it, and they confiscate it whenever it's found in archaeological digs, and then they are trying to reverse engineer this stuff, just like Bob Lazar said. He may not have had all the accurate information because the government wasn't telling him everything and only letting him see certain things. But he was telling them that this was something that was found, dug up. It wasn't something that anyone invented in our civilization, because we aren't that advanced yet. And no credible evidence of off-world technology. Again, just like I just said, it's not off-world technology. So this statement's perfectly accurate. In the last paragraph, they say Air Force's position continues to be that there is no scientific or other compelling reason to divert resources to the recording and investigation of UAPs. This aligns resources with the priorities, mission, and objective of defense. So they're denying that they think that UFOs are a real thing. But I'm gonna call bullshit. I think they know very well what the truth is. I think they know very well what the truth is. Redco says, every single war I'm going to catch some backlash off this. I know I'm going to catch some backlash over this, but every single war that we have been in besides the Civil War was because of Israel. Look it up. They are surprisingly often featured in some bullshit. Yeah. That's why they try so hard to push this whole idea that anything that Israel, if you say something bad about Israel, they want you to think that saying something bad about Israel is the same thing as saying something bad about Jews. No. Just like when I say there's corruption in the Native American tribal governments, because all governments have corruption in them, because the corrupt people seek out position and involvement or just paying off agents of every government on the goddamn planet. Corruption just gets into it. So when I say Native American governments are corrupt, I'm not talking shit on Native Americans. Same thing for Israel. When I say that Israel's government is corrupt, I'm not talking shit on Jews. There are Jews that will tell you that their government is corrupt as fuck, period. But they'll try and twist it. Oh, if you say something bad about Israel, you're saying something bad about the chosen people. Dude, you don't even know that they are the chosen people. You don't even know that. But they got so many people convinced that they will defend Israel to their last breath. No matter how many of our people they get killed. Or how much of our money they take right out of our pockets. And I say this is why we need to get it to where our government no longer gives aid to any other country under these circumstances, and tell people, say, look, if you believe that Israel should be funded, then you reach into your own individual pocket and you give it to them yourself. Otherwise, shut the fuck up, stay the hell out of my pocket. No more income tax. That's slavery. When the master keeps his cut of your work output, that's slavery. And that's exactly what income tax is. It's a form of slavery, because we all have to work, because we all have to make money in order to buy the things that we need. So we're trapped. And the government says, oh, well, you also, because you have to give us part of your money as income tax, you have to give it to us. Well, you're trapped, because the only way out of that is to not work. And if you don't work, how are you going to pay for your life and to live? And you can't just go out into the wilderness, because they'll come out and fuck with you. They'll say, oh, you're out here hunting at the wrong time of the year? Oh, no, you can't hunt right now because we said so. And you can't hunt these deer till a certain time of year. And you have to pay us to have the privilege to hunt. Well, why aren't those wolves over there paying to hunt? They hunting because they got to eat. Now, see, this is absolutely evil. You aren't allowed to feed yourself from the land anymore, because our corrupt ass government says so. They say you can only do it at certain times, and you got to pay them to be able to do it. And I say that's absolutely un-American. Under no circumstances in a free country should I have to pay the government to be allowed to hunt to feed myself, or to fish, or anything to feed myself from the land. It's absolute evil corruption. Our government has fallen off. The founding fathers did not create this government with an income tax. That was created much later. So we need to elect people that state very clearly that the goal is to eliminate income tax from the United States. It should not exist in the United States. We're supposed to be a free country. In a free country, you cannot have income tax. It's blatantly unconstitutional. It's totally slavery. They got all these rules, this big circle of rules. I gave you a little snapshot of it, to where you're trapped into the system, and you have to be a slave. Mr. Lee says, "You know where I'm going? I'll be watching on the big screen." Mr. Lee, we got to break you from this habit of going over there, man. It's a bad habit. We got to break you of it. Because Mr. Lee, I don't know why Mr. Lee goes over there. Somebody needs to talk some sense into him, though. The icon says, I found it. The PG film was shot with a Kodak K116 millimeter Turk cam. Those are not really what I would call a quality camera. So the unclear outcome is not surprising. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Danny's going over there too? Holy shit, dude. Killing me, Smalls. Y'all are killing me. Icon says, don't you know that the royal hunting grounds are always forbidden? Oh, yeah. Yeah. But we're not supposed to have royalty in the United States. There's no noble class here. Not supposed to be. But somehow we got one. Try to put a little light on the situation here. Sun's going down. Raptor says, go watch George Carlin. He has a bunch of his shows telling you all about that. Yeah, I have a clip on here talking about, let's see here.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Yep. George Carlin tells us all about it. Icon says, no royalty. Tell that to the Kennedys. I know, for all intents and purposes, they've made themselves royalty. Like that day, it's been almost 14 years ago, where I was sitting in a conference room with a couple Secret Service agents and a couple of police officers, and we had ourselves a conversation. And one of the things I told them, I said, this is supposed to be a constitutional republic, but what it really is a plutarchy masquerading as a constitutional republic, because the constitutional republic was hijacked by the Plutarchs, which plutocracy and plutocracy refers to rule by the rich. For those out there that don't know, it's rule by the rich. So in effect, we do have a noble, well, noble's not the correct term for some of these assholes, but a nobility, a royal class of people. Rich people become the nobility, and and you see how people naturally latch onto the Donald Trump phenomenon is an example. As a rich guy, he's been venerated, and he's treated as nobility, because humans naturally want a noble class. Even if you don't call it that and it's called something else, humans are naturally inclined to follow a nobility of some kind of monarch, some kind of leader that's even though in our system there's supposed to be rules that they have to follow. I guarantee you a large number of these Trump supporters would, if Donald Trump gave them the order to go string up a bunch of far lefties, they would do it. They would totally do it. That's what's scary. That's what's scary about the situation. People have to understand, I know that y'all love Trump and stuff like that, but the fact is someone with with that amount of power and influence and control over a large group of people is dangerous, extremely dangerous. So we got to keep an eye on the situation. I hope enough Trump supporters. I can't really say that. Maybe after the J6 thing, a lot of Trump supporters have gotten a little more. They're thinking a little bit more about what's going on. Because you saw they fell for it. They walked right in. They should have been thinking, every individual, no, we shouldn't go in there. Something's wrong. Something ain't right here. We shouldn't go in there. But they did anyway. Because they're not thinking. They are, a lot of them are every bit as much zombies as a lot of the far lefties are. And they walked right into that fucking building. Now, that's going to piss off some Trump supporters, but I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You guys need to think more about what you're doing. That J6 thing should have never goddamn happened. It was not an insurrection, but still, you guys fell for that trap, hook, line, and sinker. You would have walked right off a goddamn cliff that day. You would have walked right off a cliff. Some bitch. Killing me, Smalls. Icon says the U.S. it was starving for its own celebrity regime after the coronation in 53. when I know a lot of people are like, what's this guy talking about? He thinks that the best form of government for humanity is a monarchy. It's because it is. This system quickly degraded, right? Because look, constitutional republic, great idea, blah, blah, blah. The fact of the matter is it can't ever last very long. And it didn't. The Civil War is proof. It did not last very long. It fell apart. It fell the fuck apart. And 600,000 plus Americans were killed in a goddamn war. That is a failure of your government. And it's because the corruption is so easily can infiltrate a government that allows anyone to run for office. That's monarchy has inherent protections against that kind of thing. You can't just walk in and say, I want to be part of the noble class. You just can't. You got to be born into it. And in a system like that, it becomes important to, some degree of, whether people like, I don't care if people like eugenics or not. Sometimes it's a tool and it can be used for good or it can be used for evil, period. And you definitely want to engage in some degree of selective breeding of your noble class. But we're talking about a system where you are thinking a little harder about the future of your empire or your kingdom or your principality. You want to ensure it lasts, thousands of years. That's the only way. You can't have, it will fall apart if you don't make sure that you're very selective about the breeding of your leadership. Of course, people are like, what the fuck is this crazy? Sorry, goddamn truth. And right now, you got the wrong people in the British monarchy. they aren't the real heirs. The real heir is in Australia, apparently. The dude's in Australia. Doesn't want anything to do with it. You know, they were cut out a long time ago. But yeah, the real heir is in Australia. Autonomous collective sounds promising. Autonomous. And very Python-esque. All right. Getting late. We're veering off the course of the paranormal. So I think we got to wrap her up. People filtered out. Mr. Lee left us. Danny left us. I don't know why people are still going over there to Moog's. But that's okay. I knew it's Thursday night. But I didn't have to work tonight, so I had to do Thursday. Icon says, have a good one all. This lighting situation sucks. Timmy Boy says, I agree, Lock. January Sixers should have seen it coming. They should have. Now, it's wrong what's happening to them. They don't deserve to be treated like insurrectionists because there was no insurrection. They didn't have weapons. They were just stupid. They fell for a trap. We talked about the other night about the FBI, CIA involvement, the agents that were in the crowd. We've talked about before how the Capitol Police opened up the barricade, how the door that the people went into was as strong as like a bank vault or some shit. Like the crowd of people were not just going to open this door and walk in. Somebody had to let them in, you know. There was no way they were getting in there. It's just set up. So yeah, they're being politically persecuted, and they should just let them out. They've been through enough bullshit for just being stupid, and maybe you can call it trespassing, but I find it. I have a hard time saying even that, though, considering that we, the people, pay for that building. We pay for the salary, the income of everybody that works in that building. It belongs to us. We should have the right to go in there. Fuck them. I don't care what they say about security. It's ours. So even calling it trespassing doesn't feel right to me. But there certainly wasn't an insurrection. That's stupid. They were just dumb and fell for a trap. Icon says, I'm off to take in some live jazz and then bed. All right, Icon, take it easy. Thanks for hanging out. Teeny Boy says, I agree with a trespass charge and damages. Yeah, if they damage stuff, you know, so I know some people were being stupid. But then again, I have to question, like, do you really think that your average Trump supporter went in and vandalized the building? I don't think so. I'd almost bet that every bit of damage that was done by fakes, the agents, the agents in plain clothes that were hiding in the crowd did it to make it look like the Trump supporters did that stuff. I almost bet that no one that did any damage in the building was a Trump supporter. They might have gone in the building, but they wouldn't have damaged the building for the most part. I think, but a few of them may have. There's always some bad apples, but this was totally a trap. Totally a trap. All right. Everybody have a good night. I don't know when the next time I'll be doing a live, but keep an eye out for some kind of notification somehow. And until then, take it easy.